The reporting down there.
Also this morning, rescue crews in St. Louis are responding, they say, to at least 15 calls of stranded drivers who've been trapped in floodwaters. More than 500,000 people in the area were under flash flood warnings. You can see here what that looked like. Storms were moving throughout the region. They brought traffic to a standstill, left roads closed, cars submerged. Our CNN meteorologist, Derek Van Dam, joins us now. Derek, I mean, what's the sense of what this looks like today, and have the conditions cleared up enough for people to be able to operate on the road so far?
Yeah, fortunately, Caitlin, the vast majority of the flooding near St. Louis has receded since this fiasco that occurred late last evening, but you can just see how this off-ramp from Interstate 55 backed up traffic for miles. Of course, you heard about the fire departments responding to multiple calls. So what in the world is at play here? And do we have more rain in the forecast? Well, you can see this kind of direct moisture plume from the Gulf of Mexico streaming into the central portions of the country, including Missouri. And you can see the radar, the bulk of the precipitation just north of St. Louis. So currently we're dry. But during that period of about 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday evening, that's when 4 to 6 inches of rain fell in the southern suburbs of St. Louis. That's enough to flood any major metropolitan, especially considering the bulk of that is concrete, so not a very impervious surface, so the water has to flow somewhere, right? Now, the bulk of the precipitation will occur across the southern portions of Missouri. That's where the Weather Prediction Center has a slight risk of flash flooding today. You can see these thunderstorms firing up, well, thanks to a stalled out frontal boundary. So for St. Louis, you do have light showers in the forecast today, but the bulk of the heavy rainfall, Caitlin, fortunately, will be south of the city.
Yeah, fortunate for those drivers there. Derek Van Dam, keep us updated. Thank you.
President Biden says he's encouraged after staff-level talks over the weekend seemed to make some progress on debt ceiling negotiations. Listen.
I may not be because I'm a congenital optimist, but I really think there's a desire on their part as well to reach agreement.
For the first time, Planned Parenthood is calling for Congress to add seats to the court and impose term limits for justices. These are two suggestions that whole panel set up to assess the court went through in the last 2 years. But this is what the CEO of Planned Parenthood said yesterday. Here she is.
We need to see term limits. We need to see ethical, reforms, raising very questions about the fact that these people with lifetime appointments that are very much out of step with where the majority of people are on a variety of issues means that, the legitimacy is in fact in question.
Huge implications. We saw when FDR tried to and considered doing that and got very close to it. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, I understand where folks like that are coming from. I think it's solving the symptom and not the disease. What we're seeing right now is a Supreme Court that is unchecked by Congress, by the president, by the people, to a degree we haven't seen in American history. Changing who's on the court, changing how long they serve might feel good in the short term. It's not going to get at the longer, broader problem that the book tries to unpack, which is that we need a healthy interbench dynamic where Congress and the justices are having a conversation about what cases they should be deciding and how.
Doesn't that go against separation?
So I think not really. I mean, the idea of judicial independence is not inconsistent with the idea of interbranch accountability. For the first 200 years of the Supreme Court, we had this ongoing back and forth dialogue where Congress was regulating the court's docket, where the justices were pushing back, where Congress was regulating the court's budget. Poppy, I think a big part of why we are where we are today, whether it's regard to the substance of these rulings or the justices' ethics, is because Congress has really taken its hands off the court. And part of what I'm trying to do in the book is build the conversation for why Congress needs to get back into that ballgame.
Congratulations. It's such a fascinating read, Steve. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Caitlin.
Yeah, can't wait to read that. Also this morning, we're tracking this that happened over the weekend online. NBA star Morant has been suspended by his team again after he appeared to flash a gun on social media again. We have the new details ahead on how this is not the first time the star has been in trouble for precisely this.
Innovative, futuristic, solutions that have the potential to really change our world.
This is a fiber discovery platform where we can follow nature's blueprints for an array of properties.
Meet the scientists spearheading these inspiring ideas.
Carbon dioxide removal will be the new heavy industry that mankind has to develop.
And see how the impact of a single solution could spark a technological transformation. Bold Pursuits, Saturday on CNN.
happen? And didn't he just have to talk publicly about, the risks here of being more careful online? And now here it is, it appears he's doing the same thing again.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You remember the story, Caitlin. And the NBA is telling us that they're still gathering details. And aside from announcing the suspension, the Grizzlies, the team, they're deferring to the league on how to handle this. Chandler Parsons, who played in Memphis for 3 years, though never teammates with Morant, he tweeted that he believes Morant shouldn't be allowed to play at all next season, Caitlin. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that Commissioner Adam Silver could start seeing increased pressure from other teams around the league to hand down a tougher and lengthier suspension to start next season. It's important to note, Caitlin, that after he was seen flashing a gun back in March, Morant checked himself into a counseling program. He admitted that he needed to get a better handle on dealing with the pressure he faces as a star in the NBA. He met face-to-face with the commissioner at that time. He described Morant's actions as, quote, irresponsible, reckless, and potentially very dangerous, unquote. Here's what Morant said just 2 weeks ago, Caitlin, after the Grizzlies were knocked out of the playoffs by the Lakers.
I just got to be better, with my decision making. That's pretty much it. Off-court issues, affected us as a, organization, pretty much. So, yeah, there's more discipline.
They need for more discipline. Well, that's going to determine his future within the league.
Yeah, and they say they're still investigating it, but we can all see the video. We all saw the video back in March. Coy, keep us updated on what you do here from the NBA.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, the federal government is pushing for the recall of 67 million airbag inflators. What the parts manufacturer is saying about that.
Also, Taylor Swift calling out a security guard while live on stage at one of her concerts. We'll tell you why next.
As concerns for the environment grow and our societies become more digitalized, MGK Insulators have created groundbreaking ceramic products for a sustainable and connected future. MGK Insulators, surprising ceramics.
Whether you are a global enterprise or a business startup, Abu Dhabi connects you with the world, helping you do business faster and smarter. It's where innovations nurtured and investment opportunities thrive. Abu Dhabi is a city where outdoor living rejuvenates and invigorates, and culture and entertainment inspires and delights. Why in Abu Dhabi?
I'm Kate Nobel in London, and this is CNN.
On the next Living Golf, soak up the sun in California and marvel at the iconic course, Pebble Beach.
This course is such a bucket list for so many golfers.
Where the greats shine and legends are made. In the heart of Los Angeles, visit the A-list attraction, Wilshire Country Club.
I mean, what a location.
And link up with rising star Lilia Vu.
It was nice to see how good we are.
Living Golf, Saturday on CNN, in association with Golf Saudi.
I was in bed at 7:30. It was amazing.
That is amazing. I will take that over an NBA playoff game any night. But we'll get to the NBA Finals ahead in a little bit. But this morning we do begin with very disturbing news. 9 people this morning are recovering after a mass shooting sent them running for their lives. This happened near the beach in Hollywood, Florida. New surveillance video shows the crowds on the boardwalk running as the gunfire rang out. The victims range in age from just 1 to 65. Police say one person has been detained. A manhunt.
And this could be a long, drawn-out battle, but the Safety Administration exists for this very reason, to protect people's lives. If folks at Hope want to know if their vehicle is impacted, they can go to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration website and punch in their vehicle number to see if there's an impact there. But this is not going down easy with this company, ARC Automotive. They are saying that their airbag inflators were perfectly fine and there's no issue, but Safety Administration is saying that's not true. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vanessa. And CNN This Morning continues right now.
Turkey's hotly contested presidential election is very likely heading to a second round of voting.
I pray that a fortunate future is ahead of our country after the polls.
The AK party members are trying to block the system.
This looks like a celebration, but there is no celebration yet.
The flow of migrants into the U.S. is slower than expected.
Over the past 2 days, a 50% drop in the number of encounters.